And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Anytime you're talking about fundamentals in a market and direction, fundamentals take a little bit of time to play out.
We got crude oil today, kind of trading yesterday's value area really nicely, low to high.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, friends and traders. Welcome to the Market Recap. I am Dan Hodgman. It is Wednesday, November 3rd. I hope you all had a wonderful day. Really pretty much a quiet day market-wise until obviously the big news at 1 p.m. Central Time here today when the Fed came out and basically said, as we expected, they're going to start tapering their bond purchasing. We're going to see $10 billion less in treasuries and $5 billion less in mortgage-backed securities. So if you're holding on to some of that treasury, keep an eye on that stuff and be cautious. Remember, think about what's going on there. But what is this doing? It's opening up for potential purchasing of equities to kind of maintain the strength there in equities. We saw a huge pop in them today, here this afternoon. Prior to that, really not a whole lot going on. Jerome Powell did say he kind of expects inflation conditions to push well into next year. I think we can all agree. We're not surprised by that with the way inflation's been going. And who knows, maybe it'll be even longer than that. We're seeing, continuing to see that 5+% each and every month, year over year, when it comes to inflation. So we'll continue to keep our eyes close on that one. But we also had another number come out today. Crude oil came out. We've been seeing draws here as of late, but today we saw the boost. We finally got a boost in oil inventories, 3.3 million barrel boost, sending the crude oil market lower. We saw that one open up lower here today and kind of continued on down. That market, excuse me, I got a tickle in the back of my throat. That market started to sell off in the overnight session, really pretty much continued here all day. This was really one of the most tradable markets, in my opinion. We saw a nice little bounce off the open. The market kind of just pulled back to high side of our channel. Sold off once again. Number came out, market moved lower. We saw a little bit of a pullback or a little bit of strength in that downtrend once again on short time frame. You saw it pull back towards some moving averages and then rotated lower once again. Finally, we're going to end our day here below $80. It's been a little bit of time since that. S&P 500, really nothing all day long. We talked about this yesterday. I think a lot of people are taking today off. We saw it yesterday, right? We talked about this. Expect a very quiet morning, and it was exactly quiet. Really no range. Market or Fed came out, said, hey, we're tapering bond assets, tapering those assets over in the bond. $10 billion in bonds. And, well, no surprise, stock market skyrocketed to new highs. And that was the case for both S&P and NASDAQ. Really the difference was S&P was trading underneath settlement, so technically down on the day all day until the number came out where where the NASDAQ was trading just above. Then on the open in gold sold off on the open. Potential concerns with everything going on with FOMC here today, and people were thinking about what is the news that we're going to get from them. That market spilled over, rotated to the downside, but we caught a little bit of life, maybe some profit taking, maybe not as concerned with what Powell had to say. So that market started to find a little bit of a lift. The euro opens up this morning, checks the lows, starts to creep back towards settlement price, holds its settlement, and then volatility all day long after that. And the 10-year note sold off. And again, volatility. These are not greatly tradable markets. The majority of these here today, crude oil really was the best tradable market. That market really gave some good opportunities. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second. Want to make sure we say hello to everybody and hear how your days are going. PD, good to see you. Ricardo, guess what day it is? It is Wednesday. Mike, and Norman, good to see you as well. Hope you guys had some good opportunities here today. Chances were there. You got to be cautious trading these numbers, right? We watched it in the equities. Right as soon as the information came out with the FOMC, Market just kind of was all over the place. It was up, it was down, it was left, it was right. We weren't really sure. It took a little while to pick direction. Once it picked direction, sure, it was tradable. You got to really focus on that price action. Find those opportunities. Okay, here's a good little pullback. I'm going to hop in here, see if I can pick up a few points. I'm not looking for it to just keep going and going and going. You never know when it's going to turn back. Obviously today, if you held on, you could have done pretty well, but definitely difficult trade across the board with a lot of these. And I hope you guys found some opportunity. And if you didn't, not the end of the world. Today tends to be a day where we can kind of sit on our heels a little bit and let these days play out. So let's go and take a look at our charts here and go from there. Like we said, crude oil opened up this morning in a downtrend, and here's what we're looking at, right? Let's open this up so we can get a nice visual. What we're looking for in this market. So to me, I'm recognizing market opens up, our initial move is lower. We get a little pullback. Now, in the short time frame, all night long, we're maintaining trend to the downside. We know a number is coming out at 9 o'clock. So this 8:30 bar, I'm not doing anything. 9:30, the number comes out. Market starts to press lower. And as it starts to push lower, this is when we get to start to look for opportunity, right? I'm looking for an opportunity. Maybe I can find some strength in this initial move, but I'm going to continue to wait. I'm going to wait until I start to see a strong pullback towards the mean, right? As I start to bring it back towards the high side of channel, very visual here, right? We can use our moving, our weighted average here, our moving average. We can really start to pay attention to that, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this market to pull back as close as possible to that where I can take my short and continue with direction. That to me is really what I'm looking at. That is really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this strength. To me, this is not a reversal in the market whatsoever. When markets are directional, we want to find that pullback. We want to find where's that market really telling me it's sucking in more sellers, right? We start to recognize buying starts to loosen up. We're starting to see volume dip, and as soon as that volume starts to dip, that's our chance to take the short, and we start to attract more volume. This market really continued the sell-off today. Like we said, below $80 here to end our day. Next, let's go ahead and look at the S&P 500. There's not a whole lot for me to say. Really isn't. All day long, nothing, right? I mean, we're moving up and down a couple handles here, a couple handles there. Nothing really. Number comes out. All you're looking for here, we're just trying to find where is that little bit of weakness if I'm going to try and take this move. I mean, that's the best I can tell you here. This is not a standard, breakout in the slightest, right? You could have caught the breakout. You could have tried to buy as this market starts to trade outside of yesterday's range, maybe. You can catch a pop, but they were swinging. It was swinging so much. It was really difficult to get in here. So as we started to peel up or roll in time here a little bit, maybe you were able to find some pullbacks. I took a couple trades, found some good entry points, but not holding on long. I'm not sitting in these things all day long or for an hour or 2 hours. I'm being quick, a couple minutes. I'll hold on to it, maybe 15 minutes, see if I can get a little bit of a run. Then I peel it off, not taking a lot of risk in these trades. Next, let's go ahead and look at the NASDAQ. Same principle applies here to the NASDAQ. Pretty much did nothing for us all day long until the number. And the same principle applies here for the NASDAQ. Really, it's just a matter of looking for the pullbacks in this move up. Really, to me, I'll tell you one I found. I found it on this move here, right when we rolled into 2 o'clock or 1400 Central Time. Right when we rolled, we saw it. You got to know, hey, as soon as we kind of start that new bar, don't just jump right in. Wait to see if we're going to get a little bit of a weakness or a little bit of a pullback in that move. And as we started moving down here towards 70, it was about 78, 76. You started to see it really slow up on the downside move. I started to recognize that. I started to see volume pile in on the bid side, and that was a chance for us to take a quick buy and see if we can get it to run back up. So that to me was a really good opportunity there to pick up maybe 10 or 15 handles in the move. But that was just one example that I saw here today. All right, next, let's go ahead and look at the euro. Of course, I pulled that NASDAQ chart on accident the other day and messed things up. All right, here we go. Gold. I'm sitting on my hands all day long in gold. We see the big break off the open. Hard to get in on that. There wasn't much pullback. I'm being patient. By the time equity opened, that sell-off was pretty much done. We fell into a little holding pattern all day long. And then the number came out. As soon as that number came out, Twice we came and checked consolidation on the low side, where today's point of control happens to be right here at 1763. We saw an opportunity there. That'd be the closest thing I can say to an opportunity. My mouse is acting funky right now. I wonder if my batteries are dying. My mouse is acting funky. All right, here we go. All right, Euro. Euro opens up, and just like gold, we saw a little bit of sell-off off the open, reverted back to the mean or settlement price. 115.91. 115.91 is settlement price. Market works around it all day. Same thing, right? We come and check lows. We check consolidation down here twice, down at 115.80. 115.80 half, we can call it. We saw it, check it twice after the number came out. That's what I'm going to sit here and say. I'm going to say, hey, my chance right here was the next move, the second move here, right around 2 o'clock. We have an opportunity to put stop right on the other side of value low, and we ripped higher. Again, it's really tough on a Fed day to really talk about it, knowing that we're going to get a volatility spike at the end of the day. But we got to be patient, and not knowing where that's going to go, it makes things a little difficult. Sell-off, no surprise here. We're expecting Fed talking tapering assets. This market falls into a little bit of a range, and here's what I saw. This is the only thing I saw. Market comes down, checks unchecked point of control back here from November 1st or Monday. Market comes and checks that point of control and rotates back inside. That's the closest thing we got here for this market. All right, everybody. Those are our markets here today. Hope you found some opportunity. Ricardo, really glad to see you get a green day there. Norman, has anyone had problems opening the links in the Top Step emails on the Kindle Fire? Norman, I will say, if you're using, depends on what internet browser you're using. I know a lot of people, if you use Internet Explorer, that doesn't work on there a lot. So if you can download like Chrome or Firefox, I believe, those work. Shouldn't have a problem. So if you are using Internet Explorer, I know that's one issue, but beyond that, I'm not really sure. Henry, good to see you. And Ricardo, you got a backup mouse anyhow. You're telling me I've got... Here's 3. Here's a 4th. And then in my closet in here, I got a couple more in there. Got to keep them around just to be safe. All right, Bitcoin. That's the next one. We want to talk Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, $63,000, $63,115 a coin there. Matthew, thank you. Have a nice night yourself. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on. We talked about what the Fed's going at. Stocks, new highs here. No surprise with that. Airbnb. We have an end-of-day spike here. This thing's pushing it closer to $75 a share. GameStop, though, woo, boy, we saw a lot of people peeling out of their positions this morning after the open. It ran up to about $250 a share. Sold back down to $218, still up 5.5% on the day. AMC up a little bit here today, $40.70. Tesla, another move in Tesla, up over $1,200, $1,213.79. Robinhood moves up today from 35 to 37, ending the day 37.04. And the VIX, no surprise, the VIX sold off as stock market moved higher. 15.2 is the VIX. No major news. Earnings, though, it is still earnings week. Tomorrow, you got Moderna. That's going to be a big one. Duke Energy. That's really about all we got major going on there with the earnings. And lastly, economic calendar. Tomorrow you've got international trades and goods at 7:30 a.m. Central Time, along with jobless claims, as you guys know, every Thursday there. That'll be an interesting one as we approach the jobs numbers on Friday. So with that being said, I don't have much for this date in history, I don't think. I have one. On this day, in 2014, One World Trade Center officially opened in New York City on the site of the Twin Towers. So with that being said, John will be back tomorrow morning, 7:45 a.m. Central Time with the coaches, or with the market forecast. I will be out tomorrow afternoon, so John will be covering me for the recap as well. So I hope you guys all have a spectacular weekend. Get out and join it. Benny, good to see you as well. Congratulations and welcome to the Combine. Hopefully you join us here regularly every day, 3 p.m. and every day at 7:45 a.m. Central Time. John and I will be sitting down, so make sure you join us, and we'll take a look at what's going on, what's upcoming, and what's happened in the past. So I'll be out. Won't see you guys until next Monday. So until then, stay safe, wash your hands, trade smart, trade well. Look forward to seeing you guys in the markets. Take care, everybody.